Good morning, everyone. This is Prashanthi. Here I am to discuss about Database Management System Lab or Structured Query Language Lab. Before going to the details of SQL Lab, I'll be discussing about a small introduction on Database Management System. The first term that you come across is data. It is a fact that can be recorded. Anything that can be recorded is called as data. For example, if you take a student data, for example, student name, roll number, address, this is one kind of data. Some other kind of data may be regarding images, videos, speech. This is some other kind of data. Okay, the next term is database. Database is a collection of related data. Collection of related data, this collection may be regarding students, it may be a student data, it may be an employee data, or it may be collection of images, collection of speeches, all that is related together, that is a database. You have some kinds of databases or types of databases. The first one is traditional database. This traditional database consists of characters and numbers. What is that is, for example, if you take a student data contains name, roll number, marks. All this is a combination of alphabets or characters and numbers. And also one more example you can take is online reservation system. Online reservation system contains train number, passenger name, time, all those things. Even that is a collection of characters and numbers. Anything which is a collection of characters and numbers comes under traditional database. There's some other kind of database is multimedia database. It is a collection of videos, songs, etc. One more kind of database is GIS, Geographical Information System. Satellites will be taking some images of the earth, space, etc. All these things comes under GIS database system. And the next one is real-time database. Example of that is supermarket. For example, if you have a supermarket, then if you want to quote what else are the remaining items you want to buy, all those things can be done by using real-time database system. Now, you have a database with you. That database may be a student database or employee database or image database, whatever it may be. This data, you have to store it somewhere, isn't it? Previously, you would store this data on a paper, and when you want to manipulate that, you have manipulated that with a pen, isn't it? Now everything is computerized. So you'll be storing this data on a computer. You have to store the data on a computer. You want to retrieve that data. You want to do some modifications. You want to do all those things, isn't it? So whenever you want to do some operations on a computer, you need a program, isn't it? So that program has to, what that program has to do, it has to define the data that you are going to store. Define the data in the sense what is the size of the data and what is the type of the data that you are taking, and uh, it has to construct, that means how to place that data on your hard disk. You have to store that on your hard disk, store the data on your hard disk, isn't it? You have to construct that data, and you have to manipulate that data. Manipulate is you want to add some details to that, you want to delete, or you want to manipulate. So a program has to do all these things. That is dbms. DBMS is a set of programs. Program in the sense you can call it as a software. So DBMS is a software which is used to define, construct, and manipulate the data. Right. Now, whenever we talk about a software, so in order to implement that software, you need a language, isn't it? In order to implement a software, you need a language. In order to implement this DBMS software, you need a language called as structured query language. So to implement to implement structured query language, uh, to implement DBMS, you need a structured query language. What is the structured query language? Structured query language deals with structured data. Again, what do you mean by the structured data? Structured data means the data all will be stored in the form of tables, right? Then the next term is query. Whenever you want to get some information from some people, what do? You pose a question. Question is a query. He will answer you. Now you want to get some information from a file, that is a database. What do? Here also you can pose a query. That is, when a user want to get some information from a database file, he can issue a query. What is a query? It is a user's request to retrieve data with a certain condition. Again, what is the certain condition? For example, I have an employee database, an employee data or records. In that, I want to pick out all the employees whose salary is greater than 10,000. That is my query. I can pose a query to the database. Your SQL will give you the answer. So that is a structured query language, right? As I have told you already, the data is stored in the form of tables. In order to store the data in tables, in order to retrieve the data or modify the data, you need some commands to do all these things, isn't it? So that we can do all these things by using commands called as SQL commands. So these SQL commands are basically characterized into four types again. The first one is DDL, that is data definition language, DQL, data query language, DML, data manipulation language, and the last one is DCL, data control language. See, these are the commands that fall under each and every command. In the next class, we'll be discussing about all these commands in detail. Okay, thank you.